Harbor Freight recently sent me one of their welding machines. I call it the orange machines, but we are dealing with the Vulcan Omni Pro 220, a multi-process machine. They asked me to set it up in one of our welding stations, kind of run it through the process in a production setting. Let's get into it. This darn fly. Overall, just walking around the machine and looking at it, it's a pretty nice little setup. It comes with the extra plugs, so you can either run 110 or 220 voltage on this machine. It comes with an electrode holder for stick. It also comes with your MIG gun. They send you a regulator and a hose, so when you unbox it, you're pretty much ready to just set it up, hook it up to a bottle if you're going to be using any type of shielding gas. The interface of the machine here, the on-off button is right here in the front. Once you get it all booted up, it's pretty straightforward. Similar to most other machines, you can choose your settings. If you press the home button here, as you can see, you've got all the processes, your C25, flux core, stainless steel tri-mix, constant voltage, the MIG manual constant voltage where you can put your own settings in, a spool gun attachment, if you're going to be using either a 4043 or a 5356 filler wire, the stick setting, your TIG setting, and then there's another settings button. We'll get into that. You can change the units of measure. You can adjust the brightness of your screen. Information, that's basically going to give you your software updates and things of that nature. And then there's a factory reset button here also. All in all, pretty straightforward to set things up. They also have an optional settings here, which is pretty neat in my opinion. It gives you a few more settings that you can play with. You got your run-in wire feed speed, which basically is what your wire feed speed would be before it makes contact with your material. In this case, factory default's 25%. That seems to be a fine number there, so we're gonna just confirm that and leave it there. Another option is an inductance. So I usually run inductance around 50%. They also have a spot timer on here. So you can set, if you're going to do some spot welding, you can set a spot timer here. You also have a recall setting and a save setting function. So you can save your settings. If you find some settings that you really like, you can save those settings and then go back to them. Another feature too is right here on the front, there's a little cubby. So you can keep extra contact tips and some of your consumables right here in this little cubby. Put here basically where you're going to put your wire. It'll only hold a 10-pound spool, so you can't put your big rolls in here. Pretty straightforward, just like any other machine with your wire rollers. You can change the wire size from 023 to 030, 035. It's got a cold feed, so if you press this button here, you can feed your wire. That way you don't have to waste any gas or turn your bottle off, whatever one you would prefer. And just a bunch of the settings and parameters that you can use right up here. It gives you your rated duty cycles. So all that information is right here. Today we're gonna run MIG steel C25. Let's set this for what we're gonna be running. 75% argon, 25% CO2, electrode positive. We're good there. You can pick the diameter of your wire. We're gonna run 030 today. The thickness of our material, we're on 3/16 plate, so let's confirm that. And it's gonna give you your presets. And these presets are adjustable, so you can go up or down in your voltage and also up or down in your wire feed speed. So let's get this thing set up and check it out, see how she runs on the presets. One of the production stations that we set up is for our rocket stoves. And we've set the Vulcan machine up on our rocket stove in our rocket stove station. And we'll weld, that station will weld about 15 of these a day. There's a lot of welds on here, a lot of processes. You can kind of see the bead profile that it's doing. All in all, it's done really well. There are a couple things that I'd like to talk about right now. We'll do a little welding with it. You can kind of see how it welds, see how it sounds. One of the things right away, we did pick up another ground clamp. What happens is, as we're using these ground clamps and we're just welding with it consistently all day, the little copper on the inside gets really hot and gets brittle and breaks. But you can go to Harbor Freight, they have the clamps. They also have a heavy duty version that you can buy, which is what I would recommend for this. I wanted to test this machine with what's sent in the box. So this is one thing that we grabbed to replace so far in this process. The gun is not as heavy duty as you would expect. One issue we did have with it is this little wire right here that holds the cup on, or your shielding shield here. This wire kind of gets hot when you're welding a lot, and it tends to get brittle. So that was one little thing. We kind of get hot just right here in the gun. It's a smaller gun. It's rated for 180 amps. But I would, if I had anything negative to say, that would probably be it. It is a lighter duty gun than I would want to be using in a production setting. Enough small talk. We want to get into it. We want to see how this thing welds. I've got it at the factory presets. I'm at 3/16 material. I'm using 030 wire. I've got C25 shielding gas, and we're running about 20 CFH. Let's just run a few beads and just see how she sounds, see what kind of profile it leaves. Maybe we'll make some adjustments and get it exactly where we want it. All in all, I will have to say that the machine seems to run very well. It seems to weld just fine. I really have no other complaints besides the few things I talked about earlier. So I'm going to play with my voltage a little bit. Recommended is 19.8 on the machine. I'm going to bump it up to 20. Not going to go up very much, but I'll just go up to 20. And I'll come down on my wire feed speed to about 3. We're at 365 now. I'm going to come down to 360. See what kind of profile that'll leave, and see how it welds there. Seems to be a little better. Let's play with it some more. I'm going to go up to 20.5 on my voltage. And again, this is one of the features that are nice. You can really play with things, just kind of get some settings. Let's bring our wire feed speed up. Let's go to 370. Let's see how that sounds and see how that welds. Definitely getting a little hotter, definitely getting a little more fluid, but I'm just trying to give you an example of, even though you're on the presets, you do have room to move up, move down in voltage. So pretty versatile in the way that and it's really easy to adjust. Little issues where we ran in with the gun, the ground clamp and things like that. How long will it last? I'm not sure. All in all, if you just look at these beads I've been stacking right here, the MIG function on this machine works pretty well. It does a nice job. Like I said, we've put this in a production setting where we build these rocket stoves on a daily basis. This machine's been doing that. There's a few little things that could be a little heavy dutier. Little issues where we ran in with the gun, the ground clamp and things like that. But all in all, the MIG function seems to work just fine.